Live.
Jim
was about to spill the beans.
Live.
How's everyone doing today?
Terrible. Got a minute?
Yeah. What's the? Is it hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk outside your house?
It's hot enough where everyone's being mean to each other.
Jim lives basically in the valley, and it's about 20 or 30 degrees hotter there than it is where I am.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'm on the second floor of my building, and the heat, rises. But we're 80 degrees for Santa Monica's high.
Do you hear my droning air conditioner?
No, we do not.
Okay, good.
We only hear it when I record a video inside your man cave.
Very good.
I think it'd be good to start off. Hopefully, Paul, Breakfast King, will join us. He's back home, but we hung out yesterday. I took him record shopping. But I want to show what I picked up. I'll start off with this piece of niceness. This Mary Lou Williams 10-inch on Contemporary.
Ooh, yeah. That's pretty
sweet. This is very good. I need to get. It was in a paper one, but I crammed it in that. But I need to get. It sounds really good, and actually, this is a good lineup right there. That's who's with her. Ken Naper, Tony Scott on bongos, Gainley, and it's really good.
Hey, Paul wants a link.
Okay, we can put it. This is only for Paul.
So that's 1953, Rob. That's a really old record.
Yeah, and it actually was less than what it goes for. So It's really nice.
Recorded in London, January 1953.
It sounds British.
Interesting.
That
Who mastered it? Did it say on the thing? Is it like Roy Danan mastering, or do we know?
There's an RL on side A. Is that way too early for Bobby Ludwig?
No. Yeah, that's way too early.
Well, it doesn't say on the discos.
The only thing in the dead wax is LKL 3/4. It's like the least amount of crap in a dead wax I've ever seen.
Interesting.
Does my audio sound like shit?
Yeah, somewhat.
You guys gotta tell me this.
There is the symbol right here. That E.
That's for the Illuminati.
Tattoo. Is that better?
It's the all-seeing E. Okay, so there I have that. I did get this.
Do I sound better now?
Yes, you sound fine.
You guys hear me? Okay, good. Thank you.
I did find this is the one I didn't have. He has 2 records on Epic.
Yeah.
And I found this.
That looks clean.
It's noisy, but the cover's nice. But
I found like a mint one recently.
It's not a mint one. I don't know if you can find mint ones, but
I found the diamond in the rough.
All right. Well, I found that, but at least I have it.
Yeah. Well, he does Ahmed's Blues on that, which is worth getting just for that.
Who?
He does Ahmed's Blues on that track, which is worth getting just for that. Yeah, it's the second track there. So Miles covers that on Chris. You probably were just listening to it on Workin', I think it is.
I haven't gotten there yet, but yes.
Okay.
So I somehow this is the Blue Note Classic, and they had it for $10. The cover's kind of muffed, but this sounds excellent.
Yeah, that's great.
It really is good. I recommend this.
Wait, I don't have that one yet. I was thinking of the other model that came out.
I mean, I got it for $10, but when there's a sale, definitely pick this up. I was surprised how good this sounded. So
why?
Yeah, I need to get that
because it's a reissue, and out of all the Blue Note classics, it just stuck out to me how good it was.
Okay.
So,
okay. Well, it's good to hear.
Yeah. All right. This is a Chris special, but I recommend getting this one. I think this is a new reissue on this Les Tres Jazz Club. I have a Marion Brown record on it, but this is it's like kind of like he's doing a tribute to Miles, but this is a little more low key, but it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a gatefold.
What is that jazz club thing? Is that a French reissue?
It's a French reissue label, and actually their stuff is pretty good. The two
Yeah, I
records.
have a Michelle Portal. I have a Michelle Portal on that of Our Meaning and Our Feelings, which is a pretty wild session.
I picked this up when Forced Exposure had that 15% off, but this isn't that high. It's pretty good.
Cool.
I recommend this.
What's up, Paul?
Wax seal of approval.
Hey, Paul.
It's Paul. Paul, is this your first time on any stream or no?
Second.
Nice.
Sloppy second.
Yeah. We're trying to show up Rob. Rob, we just dropped a massive video.
No,
We're taking all the views.
You all tell them what your video is.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, thanks. Oh, we just finally did the review of the plum box from JMI.
Okay, I'm going through all these records I picked up, and then we'll talk to Paul because me and Paul and I hung out yesterday. But
Nice.
Jim joined us for lunch.
Were all three of you shirtless, or no?
It was
Shirtless?
hot enough. So Sibylline, which Mike Ingroove showed records he picked up. This is
Yes.
part of that collection they dropped. So I didn't have this Grant Green record. The record's not as cool as this cover, but
No, it's not.
so,
Yeah, I agree.
it's not, I've maybe seen this twice in the wild, and they're really in the worst condition. But this was freshly opened. So, nice Van Gelder. I was surprised. This actually is a cheap record. I would recommend people run out. I was surprised how good it was. Does anyone have this?
Is that on
No,
Riverside, or what is that on?
Yeah, this is Orpheum. I found
nice.
this. I found this at the Pasadena flea market.
Is it live? It's a live concert or what?
Live in France. You know what
Oh,
it
look at
is? You know who shines on this? It's Charlie
Hmm.
Rouse. This
Yeah,
feels
He
like
always shines.
yeah, but the way it's recorded, Monk doesn't really stand out. It's Charlie Rouse. This is a Charlie
Oh.
Rouse record.
I was just listening to Monk's stream, and Charlie Rouse is amazing on that.
Yeah, this
Is that a
good.
stereo or a mono? Is that the mono?
This is mono.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Pretty sweet.
Okay, so this was recorded Olympia in Paris in 1961. Yeah. So looks cool.
All right, another one I picked up at the flea market is this Mal Waldron on Enja solo record.
Mm.
Dedicated. He wrote all the songs dedicated to Mingus.
That's awesome.
It's
How
really
is
good.
it? I haven't listened to this yet. None of
It's
them.
good.
Oh.
It's a little more. It's slightly avant-garde, but it's good.
Is that the U.S. pressing or the German pressing?
U.S.
It is very exciting, Loki.
It is
Very
exciting.
cool.
U.S. It is. The cover says U.S.
Okay, it's probably U.S.
I always thought when they have that thing on there.
You know, some engines were licensed to steeplechase in the U.S.
And some they just
Um,
press themselves.
People
guess
change
some-
or Inner City.
Inner city. I
Inner
think.
City.
I think
Yeah, it's Inner
it might
City.
be. Okay.
All right, I
Yeah.
picked
There's
this.
been a lot of Inner City did a lot of steeplechase, a lot of all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
I picked this up, and I missed when I showed this before. Someone corrected me. I picked the wrong person. She's married to Carlos Santana, but this is a good record, really good. Joe Henderson's, I think, on 2 songs, but this is very
great.
good.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah, Wallace
I don't know anything
Ron
about
is
her.
great.
That's a great lineup.
It's
Kenny
a
Garrett.
Muse Digital, but Van Gelder. It's a Van Gelder master.
I'm
but this
starting
very-
to explore more Kenny Garrett.
It's a good record. I recommend. It's cheap. Get it while it's cheap.
Notes and
Cool.
Tones always says his best shit is on CD.
Who's Kenny
You know
Garrett?
what?
Yeah.
When
I have it. I have
Jazz-
like 30 CDs in my cart right now.
when
Nice.
Jazz Bum Mike gets the courage to fight Notes and Tones Mike,
Yeah.
he can use that in his defense.
Never gonna
So
happen.
I found this, and this is a record. Some guy who sells records in his backyard regularly. I always thought it might have been killed or assassinated, but Mike counted these twofers from the '60s.
Yes. Yeah, so that one has 3 trumpets and then 2 trumpets. It's
Which are records that are astronomically expensive.
originals are, and that uses the original. Well, actually, those are the stereo, so those aren't the original metalwork, but they probably sound pretty good still.
Yeah, You know what? I have two of these. I have a Mahone's Gildo Mahone.
Yeah, I have that. That one goes for a lot of money.
They're I've noticed that they're one of the bad pressings because they're noisy.
Okay.
I can't clean them, and they're not dirt. They're not marked up.
They're probably recycled vinyl then.
I found this. I might put this in the auction this weekend. This is a
Now, what pressing is that?
1974. It
Okay.
sounds good. I have the digital from the 80s with on that QX vinyl. So, but this sounds really good. Just the cover is a little weird.
It's a good idea.
I've seen this maybe a couple times. I never picked it up, but does anyone have this one?
No, but that goes for a good. What pressing is that?
This
It's
is
like an $80. It's like an $80 record.
no, it's not. This is
Yeah.
like 73. Well, I didn't pay that for it. Paul was with me when I picked this up.
Well, you never pay anything.
So
with discounts,
one
right?
side is John Coltrane, the other side is Archie Shepp.
Hold on, let me look this up. New
It
thing.
always bums me out. I would rather them be playing together.
I know, right?
Okay,
I
here's
agree.
I have two for last. This is really good. I might sell this though, not because it's bad, but
Venus.
it's a Venus, and all the Venus stuff sounds excellent. And Notes and Tones kind of said it's with strings, but it's not sappy. It's actually really good. So Phil Woods. This is an OG from 2003. So these OG Venuses go for a little bit of dough, but they sound great.
Like $10 a little bit of dough, or 15 or 20 or what?
like $70-$80.
Oh, God.
Also, you're right. That pressing of New Thing isn't that expensive.
Yeah, I know, but it's good. Okay, this is Paul Motion's first lead album on ECM, and this is very good. It's kind of ambient. He has different lineups on each song. He does one little solo, and then second side has Keith Jarrett, but this is good. Yeah, thank you.
What was that?
I don't know. I think
Oh, that's my chair.
Jim, I think Jim has a ghost. It's-
yeah.
That's a squeaky
Okay.
chair.
Last two records, and this is a record. I think it's not that expensive. I think one person recommended it before. Children of the Night. It's technically a Bob Dejan record, but it's Hino. This is Hino all over it.
Cameron Brown too. Who else is on there?
There.
Who put that out?
The brothers, and then whoever Bob Dejan is.
This is an Enja on Inner City.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is fantastic. Pick it up. I don't think it goes for a ton of dough. This version, at least.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
This is the more like in your face.
Enja-
I'll pick you up with a trumpet.
NJ used that font a lot on their covers. There's a few of them that use that.
Okay, this is the last record and the best record.
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
This
Is
is
that the
not.
Liberty?
It's not a Van Gelder, but it sounds fine.
Yeah. Is it Liberty?
Yeah, I think it came out as a Liberty.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did too.
But not a Van Gelder, but it sounds fine. This is an excellent record. I've been looking for this. I was thinking of picking up the two digital versions, but Sibylline had this posted, and I ran over there and grabbed it. And the price, I think, was good for this record.
Nice.
Is that coming out as a classic series, or am I mistaken?
I think I had heard like there's an obscene amount of records they've already mastered for Tone Poets.
Yes.
I would
Okay.
imagine this could be one of them.
I have it. I think I have the UA pressing though.
This is like a milestone record, so I didn't bring
Bibbidi
that.
bibbidi.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And then also I showed this before. I have not listened to it. This is that Charles Gale box that I don't know who put this out, but this is pressed at RTI, mastered by Kevin Gray.
I'm scared of that box.
It wasn't. It's not that much. I got it for $50.
And Rob, that Gretchen Encore, that actually came out in '65, so that was
Oh,
before.
so it is
So
Before
it's before Liberty. Before
Okay.
Liberty.
Well, you know what?
still-
When I know this is like a 5th pressing or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Did it
all
come
right.
out as a mono too?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
There's
All right,
only
then.
there's 2 mono pressings.
Good Sean.
Let me
Nick.
see.
Crazy, man.
Let me see if and the original is Van Gelder.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
I
sure
don't think Paul, you're home, no? Did you
You're
leave
muted,
yet?
I
buddy.
am not. I'm still out here. I just had things
Oh.
to do today.
Okay. So you're still in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Still in LA.
Do you
Okay.
do you want to talk about your experience yesterday?
Yeah, I can do that. So we had a great time. As far as I don't know, Rob, if you already told them where we went.
No,
To,
leaving that for you.
Atomic. Yeah, so went to Atomic. Met up with Jim for lunch. It was great to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, Sibylline. And then we went to Record Safari and Freak Beat.
Yes.
So found a few things. So I'll show some of them at least. So some Derek Bailey, guitar improvisations.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see what else. There's a Ghanaian record. I got
Oh,
it
wow.
Sibylline. Yeah.
Now, how does that? What's the style on that?
I am
I
not
don't know
entirely
either.
sure.
No,
I'm not entirely sure, but I like the cover, so I went for it.
There you
it's
go.
a cool cover.
See what else.
Exactly.
I have.
These are advanced records.
Yeah, he picked up some stuff that is over
Yeah.
my head.
Poble and Scorpio.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Got an art ensemble record I didn't have.
You should check that
Very
out,
cool.
Loki. It's right up your alley.
What did you say?
I told Loki he should listen to that one. He should stream it tonight.
Let's see. I've got this Stan Getz that Rob's been
I
talking about.
recommend it. Yes, that I'm
Yeah.
not a big Stan Getz guy.
Yeah.
That's with Joanne Brakeen and Billy Hart and
Ooh.
someone else.
Orson Pedersen.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's a 2-disc live, but it is excellent.
I'm gonna add that to my set. Sounds badass.
It is.
So Faust 1972 UK. Beautiful condition.
Cool.
What is that? Is it a classical or?
It's like krautrock.
Oh,
So
okay.
kind of experimental prog. Louis Hayes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, what pressing is that? Was that a
I think it
rainbow?
would be an OG,
It's rainbow, yeah.
A VJ, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
get that out easily, but yeah, it's the rainbow rim.
Very cool.
So Chris McGregor's Brotherhood of Breath. So he's a South
Cool.
African jazz musician. Really cool stuff. Most people don't know about him, but check him out.
Nice.
Let's see what else here.
Jim, do you know any of these records?
No.
Frank Zappa's not on any of them.
Yeah, Sam Rivers.
Oh, very cool.
Cool.
That's
Nice.
a good record. You can. It's not hard to find, but it's currently impressed by ECM.
Yeah, got this Zawinul and White Label.
Very cool. I've been wanting that for months.
And then a later Horace Silver. I don't know if it's actually any good, but
Well, that's
autograph.
on his label.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
autographed by Horace Silver.
Yeah.
Oh,
To Margie. Sincerely,
Yeah.
Horace
Oh.
Silver.
you're gonna start going by Margie just to say, hey,
Yeah,
look what
Paul's
this
going to change his name from Breakfast King to Margie.
Yeah, Margie of Loyola. Very
Yeah, so
cool.
they-
Very cool.
Yeah, so those are the highlights.
Very
That's-
nice.
Nice
And
pickup.
yes, yeah, Loki, it is a hotel.
Can I show some pickups real quick? My disc.
We have the option of kicking you off the stream if they're bad.
They're bad. I'll be off quickly. So this
Okay.
happens when I go out distributing the paper. I find records, and one of them is this Bucky Pizzarelli record. I just love this record. I don't know
Cool.
if anyone knows it.
I've
It
seen it
is
before.
It's
Cool.
good. Pick it up. It's cheap. It's not expensive. This was a lot of money. Really good record, but it was a lot of money.
What is it?
It's a band from Mexico called Mana, and it's like I don't want to say it's disco, but it's sort of like pop.
Disco?
Really good. Some of it is rocking good. So
Secret of Mana, I believe, was a Super Nintendo game. Rob, I think it's the soundtrack.
aha.
And Jim's almost like Mario.
Lovely
Actual
Gravy.
size
I had to pick this up. It's a British copy for $20 at Record Safari. I just couldn't resist. It's in really good shape. Talking Heads. This is a German Talking Heads I picked up somewhere.
Cool.
Oh, also at Record Safari. Sibylline, we ran into Dan Meinwald, who's the American distributor for EAR, Esoteric Audio Research. Those are the guys that built the all the equipment at Abbey Road Studio. Anyway, he told me to buy this. We ran into him at Sibylline, so I did.
Very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, can you just show that again? I just want to see who's I'm not familiar with this one. It's New England Concert. Okay, so Boston Symphony. Cool.
Very nice.
It's always a plus when someone's name Igor is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonnie Raitt. I don't own this. I thought it was cheap, so I thought I'd just buy it and check it out.
Okay.
These are
This is
wonderful
a good
jazz
record.
records, Jim.
What's that?
Just fucking with you. So these are great jazz records.
Is that? Oh, I know that one. That's the Velvet Underground.
No, this is
No, it's not.
people covering this record that I've only heard of like one or two of these artists. I've heard of Ty Segall, but it's just a bunch of people I've never heard of covering this record, and it's really good.
Is that Andy Warhol signature? Is that an actual different? Is that actually his?
No, this is a
Artwork?
completely different cover. And
No, I
that's
know,
not-
but it still says Andy
Did
Warhol.
Andy Warhol do that cover? I assume he did.
I don't know.
Where's that?
Listen, Jim, we demand that you come
Whatever.
here prepared.
The record on this, I mean, the music on this is freaking amazing. Then I picked up this. This is a killer sounding record. It really is.
Is that on Vanguard?
Yes, it
Is that
is.
An original?
It's just so good. It
That
really
was
is.
awesome.
I'm gonna guess it's an original. Is it original?
Yeah, it's an original Stereo
Cool.
Lab, Vanguard recordings for the connoisseur. I picked this
How-
up.
How do those sound? Those Vanguard Stereo Labs? I've only heard reissues, and they were.
I only have
underwhelming.
two, and they sound really, really good. They're not cheap, but they're really
Yeah.
good. They're killer. This Lightning
look-
Hopkins record is really good. $8.
Mhm.
I don't know. And
I
then
always skip those Everest pressings. Is
know,
Everest
well-
like a good
well,
label?
Okay, so here's the deal. That Sonny Rollins one you see on Everest,
right.
the OG of that record is a $1 billion record.
True.
So pick up when you see this. I have it somewhere around here. So
There's
some
a
of those
couple-
Everest, there's one.
You're talking about Everest or the Sonny Rollins on Trip?
No, Sonny Rollins on Everest.
Okay.
All right, but there is a Joe Henderson. You know, the Live at the Lighthouse.
Yeah, yeah.
There's extra music that's not on that record. That's on an Everest record. That one goes for a lot of money.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it probably sounds like they recorded it in the bathroom though.
This is a great recording. That's all I can
Oh, good.
say.
Okay,
Nice.
good to
It's
know.
not bad at all. And there's another one on Everest of his that's also really, really good. And then I picked this
Okay.
up. Paul
Yeah, I have-
Bly.
That's a good
This
one.
is killer.
Ooh.
You know, it's got
Is that the inner city or steeplechase? It's probably the inner city.
Inner City.
Damn.
But it's a
That's awesome.
steeplechase record.
Jazz Flex.
It
Yeah.
is. You got, what's his name? Orsted, whatever, Pedersen.
How dare you?
NHOP.
Yeah.
It's just
The cover looks badass too.
Yeah,
Oh, and then these are the
It's a good record. Oh, these are real tapes.
reel to reel American Beauty. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like this, but yeah.
Is that like is that a 7.5 or whatever, or is it 3 1/4?
This is 3 3/4, not
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
It still sounds really good, amazing. And I picked up this as well, Alice Cooper Killer. Not very jazzy,
nice.
but yeah, this came out when I was a kid. And
So how long did they actually issue those like mainstream, those reel to reels?
I pretty much deep. I think they came out at least halfway into the 70s. I think, they were a thing.
My dad
And they
had a
sound-
reel to reel, but he only bought blanks and then recorded
Right, my
his
dad did the
records
same thing.
recorded
to
stuff,
them,
yeah.
and then would like shelf his records.
Yeah, a lot of people did that then.
Not too long ago, Jim picked up Bitches Brew on a reel.
And also
Yeah.
Giant Steps on reel to reel. Those sound
Whoa.
great. Yeah, Giant
Well,
Steps.
wait, what John Coltrane do you have on reel?
Giant
Said
Steps.
9 steps.
Oh no, okay. I thought you had another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
are
it's-
reels always stereo then? There's no mono, right?
No,
I don't know. There probably is mono. My reel to reel player has a mono
Oh, it does. Okay.
playback.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I find reel to reel to be the best sounding in general of most versions of records.
I'll tell you one thing. When I don't like going to these audio shows because they're boring and all the rooms are the same.
yeah.
When there's a room with a reel playing on reel to reel, to me that is the best sounding rooms.
Yeah.
It really is.
What if it's like
can't-
real for like a guy holding a stick, wrapping the tape around the stick? Think that'd be good?
No,
Oh,
but
no.
now I have the image of you hanging out with a guy that's
But remember with the pencil that tighten
Yeah,
it
he's
up?
got a pencil. He's just
Oh,
Can your
you
reel
mean like
can
a
your reel
cassette.
to reel play 15 IPS or 30 IPS?
There's yeah, I can't. But yeah, there are machines
Okay.
that do that.
Well, a lot of like the audiophile reels that are like $700 or whatever, they're usually like, because I have my dad's old reel to reel, but it maxes out at 7. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those play back at 15 IPS.
yeah.
So I
You have
can't
to have
get,
like a real serious machine.
that I-
with 15 IPS.
yeah.
That's when you're because and I'm sorry to break this to you, Mike. You're really your dad was a Russian spy. He brought you here when you were a little kid.
Yes.
And that's how he then when he played it goes, and this will explode after.
No, I remember playing with it
also
when I was a
playing-
kid. It was fun.
I've also been playing with a very fancy amplifier, integrated amplifier from a company named Wells Audio. This is a 150 watt solid state amplifier that's really good, but it's really expensive.
Now that you're the only expert here, Jim, but if
Yeah.
you do find a player, what's the best one if it's worth buying?
The thing of it is I have a Revox, those are good, but anything you find out in the wild is going to need to be looked at. Unless
Yeah, no,
you
Yeah,
but
but
there's TIAC is great, and
That's
there's a
what
lot
I have a TIAC.
some of those brands are
think.
better.
Uh,
Mine was not very
There's a
expensive.
bunch of guys too that are pretty decent.
that's what I have. That's what I have, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like most of the consumer grade tape machines back then didn't do 15 IPS because nobody was selling 15 IPS tapes. Just
Right, the commercial
the reels
tapes.
are fucking huge.
out at
you know?
7.5.
Yeah.
Right.
I can play big reels on mine,
Yeah.
but I can't play. Now, supposedly, I can have mine modified to play 15.
Do it.
Do it and buy a
Well-
$500 tape.
Then I won't be able to play the 3 3/4. I was
Oh,
thinking of
whatever.
whatever.
What if you
I
just like
just-
halfway plug it into the wall and just kind of barely hold it in the wall with that? You think that would work?
Oh,
Yeah. God, nobody's laughing at my stupid jokes. This is terrible.
Man, you need to try out your shit at the Holiday Inn before you bring it in.
Well, if Notes and Tones was here, he would laugh at them, so it's fine.
Do you have any, Jim? Do you have any Zappa reels?
I do. I only have one. I have Uncle Meat on reel to reel. I walked into a record store one time, and the guy in his hand had a copy of it, and the box itself was just a mess. One corner was, and he sees me walk in, and he goes, just take this. And he gave it to me. Gave it to me. Yeah, I didn't charge him for it.
The sad thing about Jim's life is every record store owner knows how obsessed he is with Zappa.
Yeah. It used to be in the old days, I would walk in and try to get a check out of these guys. They'd be like, I've got your money, but when was the last time you saw this record with this label, blah, blah, blah. And I would walk out without any money.
Oh, hold on,
Yeah.
Jim. Jim, pull out the Zappa box you picked up. You didn't show that.
Oh, that was, what box was that?
The cassette box.
Oh,
He picked up a Zappa cassette box. He doesn't have a cassette player.
I picked up, I've never done this. I picked up 6 Zappa records sealed.
Sealed. He's not going to open them.
I'm not going to open them.
Hmm.
They're mid 70s. So I did pick this up. Break the Boots. This is a complete. This is the cassette version. He did cassette, CD, and LP. It's got this pop-up thing and a T-shirt and a button. And I had one, but I gave it to my son, who I also gave my really nice cassette deck to.
Hey, Jim, can you speak to this comment?
What?
And I was with Jim.
Yeah.
And we went to an estate sale. How much did you pick this up for at the estate sale?
$20.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I gave it to my son. Big mistake. I wish
Yeah.
I had it back. Yeah, Nakamichi BX1. If you can find that, that's all you need. It's true. I did find one at an estate sale for $20, and it worked perfect. Yeah. So Frank did release that because it was a bunch of bootlegs, about 20 or 10 or 15 bootlegs. And he just said, F you to the bootleggers. And he released them himself with the exact same artwork, exact same everything, but in a box called 3 boxes called Beat the Boot, or 2 boxes called Beat the Boots. And they're it's fun, you know. I had all the bootlegs back in the day, and then I had those. But
I have a ton of Zappa records. I maybe have like 10 or so. I inherited them from my father, so
Have you
at
listened to
some
it?
point I'll get into them.
Yeah.
I've listened to a few of them. Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a few of them, but I haven't really dove into it like I need to.
there's some progressive jazzy, very prog jazz stuff and prog rock, whatever.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to like listening to Terry Bozzio on the drums because his kit was like, he had like 50 drums.
Yeah, Terry Bozzio. Frank wrote a song called The Black Page, which is a drum solo, and it's almost impossible to play. And he gave it to Terry Bozzio, and Terry figured it out. If you've got a version of The Black Page that you're from your father's records, check that out. It's Terry at his best. Really, just amazing. So that's it for me.
Cool.
Hey, Rob, find me a copy of that Stan Getz record.
Well, I have one. Hey, Joe. So, Joe, you're back home, right?
Yeah, I just got home today. Yeah.
I was sent a video of you lounging it up at Billy's Record Salon.
Yeah. I was there yesterday. So.
Do you have records to show that you got from him?
Yeah. I got a bunch. So I went where we live. It's about 5.5 hours to New York City, and we decided to go first to Beacon because I love Hudson Valley vinyl. I've gone there a few times. I don't know, Mike, you said you haven't been there, but that's a great like upstate New York. And so we went there, and then we were able to take the train from there. But I picked up some records from him at Hudson Valley Vinyl before we went to the city. And I went to yesterday. I went to Jazz Record Center, Academy Records, Ergot, which was a recommendation by Dom, and then I went to Billy's in Brooklyn. So there was other ones, but what'd you say, Rob?
What was your favorite place? And you better say Billy's.
I mean, I love Billy's. Billy's was great, but I was really impressed with Jazz Record Center. They just, I don't know if they had gotten stuff in or if it was, I mean, free jazz is not, especially going to his shop. Fred and Ken are not free jazz people, and so I think a lot of that stuff sits for a bit. And so I was able to find some great stuff with there. But yeah, Billy's place was great, so I was really excited to go there. But yeah, just kind of scattered around. This one, it's Frank Wright Trio. I've been looking for this. This is on ESP disc. I think this is his, I don't know if this is his first record on ESP disc. I know he had, I think this is the first one this is at least a solo one. This one was the big find from Jazz Record Center. It was just in the new arrivals bin. So, and they actually had a second copy that I told Billy about because he said he was interested in that. So that was a nice one.
I mean, that's not a cheap record. Was it a good price there?
$50. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, Fred was working there, so I got to meet him. It seemed like he was in the process of like pulling stuff out of this like just cabinet that was below the main just section. It seemed like, I don't know if he was putting stuff on eBay, but he pulled out a copy of Star Bright Dizzy Reese, and it looked unbelievable. So I think he was in the process of loading some more stuff onto to eBay for. They've done some auctions the last, I think, few months, more regularly. This one was the sole find from Ergot Records. This is I feel like I had seen this one. I don't know where. I can't remember. I think there was one musician that was on this that, it was I think it was the leader's Juke Minor. He's a saxophone player. So I'd seen this one a few weeks ago, but this one was the one find from Ergot. So that was a good one. This was just free jazz. Shop was small, but it was really well curated. I can definitely see why like Dom likes it, because there's a lot of like experimental, like avant-garde, electronic type music. So if you're interested in that, that was definitely the biggest I think emphasis at the store. But there was a decent record, there was a decent jazz section and new arrivals. So that was good. Next one was the big one from Billy's. Right when I walked in, I saw this one on the wall. I think he's had this for a few months because I think I've seen him either on an Instagram post or maybe somebody else had posted. But this Noah Howard Quartet, this is another ESP disc. Again, I think this is his first record. Price was really good. I mean, it was $100, but this one's a really tough one to find. So, and it's really clean. This is probably the cleanest ESP disc I've ever seen. So this one was just behind the counter, 1966. None of the other people are really anybody that I know of, but yeah, he's a great alto sax player, and this one is very free compared to some of the stuff he did in the 70s, which was free, but wasn't as, there was a little more of like a I don't know, more of like a soulfulness to the playing. Yeah. So
he's the other Three Stooges brother. There's Shep, Mo, Curly, and Noah.
This one was a fine.
That's better than your stupid stick joke.
Yeah. This one was from Hudson Valley Vinyl. This one actually was at Billy's as well. This one's it's called Poom. At first, based on kind of how the cover was designed, I thought there's a set of records. I know that Dave, Local Bandography, he has a bunch of these records that came out in like the late 70s, early 80s, and there's some that have like Frank Lowe, Noah Howard, Frank Wright. There's one that's Gene Lee that he has. It's like more vocals, but it has this very just like simplistic, like drawing type cover. That's not what this is, but it seemed like that's what it was. This is from 74. I'm not familiar with the musicians on it, but it's piano, clarinet, tenor, drums, bass.
Who did the cover art?
5-year-old.
It doesn't say. It doesn't.
Probably a little more cursive.
Jerry Newman was the engineer, Stereo Sound Studio, New York City. But yeah, it doesn't say who the was. And this was on, I think it was Composers Collective was the name of the label. So this one was, I listened to that at the store, and that was a nice one. This one was a surprising find. This was also Hudson Valley. I had seen this one like last year, but never seen a copy in person. This is Globe Unity, Alec von Schluppenbach. This is the first Globe Unity record that came out. So it's similar to like how the Jazz Messengers came together, where it started as like Horace Silver as being like the kind of leader, or at least the one that, it was kind of leading the session. That's the same thing kind of here. Schluppenbach was the one that took kind of control of Globe Unity, and then it became just more of a collective. A lot of them had like Peter Brodsman, Evan Parker, Schluppenbach, guys like that. Han Benek was on a lot of them, but this one was actually, it says NPS, but this is the original German pressing on Saba. I can show the label because you don't really see that label a whole lot, but it's on this.
So they distributed it? MPS?
No, it was originally on this label, and then I think when it came to like the US and other countries, it was NPS is what it kind of became. But this one has a pretty big lineup to it. Manfred Schuf, clarinet, flugelhorn. Brodsman is on this, alto sax. Gerd Dudek, who I've talked about, great tenor sax guy. Willem Bruker's on this one as well. Gunter Hampel, which there's a lot of records that he has that you can find from the 70s. Carl Berger, I know a few guys in VC have talked about him. Great vibes player. Bushi Nadrigal, Peter Kowald, bass. Schluppenbach's on this. Han Benek is actually not on this one. It's a little surprising, but it's also really early. Looking at it, it says 1966. So that's probably the earliest recording of, especially Peter Brodsman. That was before he kind of did his kind of thing with FMP. But this was a great one. Got just in the bins. It was discounted a bit more. This is usually like $80 to $100, but it was a little bit cheaper because the cover had a little bit. I mean, not much, but it had a little bit of a kind of cut rip to it. So
the original, I'm just looking it up. The original, the lacquers were cut by Deutsche Grammophon and pressed by DG as well.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
What year did that come out?
The original is 67.
67. Yep. This one was another one from Hudson Valley. New Movements. This is another FMP one. Most FMPs that have like saxophone, trumpet, I'll pick up if I see them. This one was pretty good price, $40. Really, I think anything under $50 is great for FMP. Really, no matter what the title is. But this is kind of a quintet: piano, trumpet, saxophone, bass, drums. Nobody really that I was really aware of, but this one's from the late, I think, 70s. Yeah, or 76. So yeah, this was a great one. That one had been on my radar for a bit, so I was glad to see that. And then I guess I'll show the last thing from Hudson Valley Vinyl. So when I went there, I've kind of gotten to know the owner, Chris, over the last 2 years. I've gone a few times, but I've talked about him in a few of the videos and things like that. And the last few months, we started kind of talking a little bit more. And I told him that I was coming on Monday before I went to New York City. And so he had mentioned right when I got there, I didn't really say anything. I just started flipping through the bins, but he mentioned that he had pulled something out of the back and he was wondering if I was interested in it. And this is, for example, Workshop Free Music 69 to 78. This is a 3 LP box set of pretty much like, it's almost that like ESP disc sampler Rob, that you've talked about.
Yeah, but it's like 30-second clips of each song.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that, but it's a similar thing where like you get like one song from one artist, and then you get another song from another artist from a different album, and things like that. And there's again 3 LPs. It's split between. There's one that's called Groups. There's one that's called Soloists, and then the third one. I don't know if it says it. I'm not going to pull it out. The box is pretty trashed. I think there's actually supposed to be like a spine here, and it's completely blown out. But yeah, it was Groups, Soloist, and then the third one. But they all had a certain kind of theme to them. And again, some of them, the soloist ones were like, there was like an Albert Mangelsdorf tune. There was a Steve Lacy tune. And then the groups were mostly like that kind of Globe Unity one that I showed, that were these larger, like orchestral type ones. But it's actually a pretty rare box set. I didn't really realize it. I knew that I kind of seen it. I think maybe Nicole has shown that, or at least she's mentioned that before. But being a big FMP collector, that was probably the biggest piece that you could get in terms of like
Nice.
being exposed to the most music. But it is pretty expensive. It's like $300-$400 for it. So, but he gave me a really good deal. I paid $150 for it, just because the box was trash, but the records were really nice. So that was a nice. I didn't expect that. That was another one that was on my radar for a while, and it just happened to be that he pulled it out of the basement or pulled it out of the back with a group of stuff. So
Whenever you show FMP, I always want to go start buying them. I have one FMP in my Discogs cart right now, so maybe I'll buy that soon.
I have one FM. I have a Brotsman. Is it the Clarinets record?
is it the Berlin Jungle? Or
Yeah.
no? Or is it that? Or is it the one that's like Brodsman Bennick from like the early 2000s?
Something like that. It's
Okay.
buried over here. I haven't even listened to it yet.
Okay, yeah, that was actually the first Brodsman record I picked up. But yeah, I think I've really hit Brodsman's catalog hard in the last year. I mean,
Really?
I think I have about I think I have like 45 Brodsman records at this point. So last two that I got, both of these are from Billy's as well. This was a similar thing to kind of Chris at Hudson Valley, where he had a bunch of stuff in the back. This one is called Luther Thomas 11th Street Fire Suite. I think it's on this new music series. Or actually, sorry, it's on Creative Consciousness Records. But it's just a duo of Luther Thomas is on alto sax, small instruments, and then recitation. There's like a small part where, while the other guy, whose name is also Luther C. Petty, is on flute and small instruments, while he's kind of soloing on the flute, there's like this recitation by Luther Thomas. But this is really, really intense stuff. It's a lot of kind of squawking, squealing type stuff, but this one was cheap, so that was a nice one. And then this one was actually one that Billy was playing while I was there, and I really liked it. And I asked him, I said, like, is that for sale? And he just gave it to me as VCLT. So I really appreciated Billy for that. But this is Duologue Heritage, and it's Warren Smith and Toki.
I've seen that album. So is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's
All right. If it's where I remember it was, I'm gonna go there and maybe grab
it's
that.
really good, Rob. It's like it's not really as much free. It's like this modal post bop, just real high energy one. And it's just Warren Smith is drums, and then Hidefumi Toki is on alto sax, soprano sax. So you can see them.
Oh, all right, if it's still there, I'm gonna grab that, but it probably won't still be there.
Yeah, so this is really cheap. I mean, it didn't really matter. Like, if it had been expensive, I would have.
If it was expensive, he wouldn't have given it to you for free.
Right. And he says every time he sees this, like in a collection, he always picks it up and then either just gives it to somebody or obviously sells it at the store. But yeah, this is like a $10-$15 record, so it's not
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think I looked on Discogs after he gave it to me, and there's like 30 copies.
Yeah.
It's
And
not.
it's 45 RPM.
It's
right?
a 45, yeah, an RCA. Yep. So those are what I found in New York City. It was really good. My wife and I went for our anniversary just to kind of do something fun for a few days, and I wouldn't say we made the mistake, but we tried to make it a mission to not Uber unless we really needed to, just because it was like $40 to go like a mile. And
So you take the subway?
Like the subway goes everywhere, right?
yeah, I know. Well, we weren't sure about the subway, so we just didn't take it. But we walked most of the, like, where we were staying to where it got to Ergot, which is like the Lower East Side. We walked like almost 50 blocks, and it was like 90.
Woo!
I've done that. But you know what? You should do what Chris does. He's told me this. You pee your pants, and you'll fit right in on the subway.
That's true.
Next time you go, download this app called City Mapper, and just put your address in, and it tells you like the best way to go walking or with public transportation.
Okay.
Yeah, you tell him now that he left the city.
Yeah.
Well, next time,
That's right.
we're
gonna
like that's basically how I navigated New York for 10 years. It was a great app.
You didn't know how to get.
Guys, I'm gonna go make dinner, but I'm gonna watch. Have a nice evening.
You'll do too.
Yeah,
Jim will pee his
Well,
pants.
the thing is, City Mapper will tell you if there's like a train line that's down, or if you have to like take a different route because something's happening. So
I just peed
it's
myself. Bye,
You
everybody.
can leave. Do you need me to kick you out?
it's really an awesome app. And then also, like when you go to DC or whatever, it switches over, and you could use it on the subway in DC too.
Yep.
So if you're hitting up cities, it's definitely a
we
great
went
app.
and we got to we started at the first one I went to was Jazz Record Center, which I think is on like 26th Street. And so we walked from 26th to 2nd, but where we were staying was like near Times Square. So it was like 47th Street. So we walked like whatever it was, 25 blocks to one. And then it was a lot. So by the time we got
good thing it wasn't the hottest weekend of the year.
Well, Billy mentioned yesterday, he said it was like, he's like, you came in on like the hottest day it's been this year. So it was a lot of fun though. And it was really good. Like it was fun to go around to the different stores. And I felt like I learned a lot about New York City, especially like the streets and things like that by walking. So it was, I don't know, it wasn't really too bad. So
One time I did walk 80 blocks. I walked 80 blocks once in New York.
we did. Well, when we went a handful of years ago, I have a friend that lived in East Harlem, and it was like 118th Street. And we walked from there to like Central Park, and we did take the subway. There were like intermittent points where we took the subway, but it was like by the end of it, we ended up at like where like the World Trade Center is. So I mean, like it was, but like within a few hours, we went from like where he was all the way to, and again, like my perspective of it is much different than people that live there that either use the subway a lot or just.
Well, here's the more important thing, because you buy all this horrible jazz music. What did your wife want to do? Did you do stuff she wanted?
Yeah, well, we first went yesterday she wanted to go to the Harry Potter store. That's right. Like, again, it was kind of, it was only a few blocks from Jazz Record Center. So we did that for a bit. And then she wanted to we went to a show on Monday night. So we saw The Great Gatsby. So that was good. So she was a big fan of Jeremy Jordan, who was in like Newsies. And so it was, that was the stuff that she wanted to do. And she knew that yesterday a lot of it was going to be about going around for records and stuff. So that was part of the plan. So it was a lot of fun. So
awesome.
Made the most of it. And then we came back here, and it's like flash flood warnings in upstate New York. So because we're getting hit with the hurricane that was hitting like the Caribbean. And I guess, Chris, did you get a lot of stuff near you in terms of the hurricane or anything? Or
No, I couldn't even get fucking rain, man. I'm pissed. Like it rained like for 5 days all around me and never got my yard wet once.
well, I saw something on the news today that there was a large amount of people in Texas are out of power. Is
Yeah,
that
it was
Yeah.
Houston area, right? Like Galveston.
Yeah, 2 million people. I mean, hurricanes tear that shit up, but
there was
having a shitty power grid doesn't help either.
In the famous story that the biggest city in the U.S. at one point was Galveston, Texas, and then that hurricane hit it, and it wasn't anymore.
I find that hard to believe.
Go read history, man.
No, I mean, I just don't believe that Galveston was ever the biggest city in the U.S.
This was a long, long time ago because it was a port city. A lot of people just lived.
Exactly, Roberto. Exactly.
I mean, I bet at one point my brother and his wife had a house there, and all those houses are on 20-foot high stilts.
Yeah.
There's that movie called Step Into Liquid. It's a surfing movie, but it's about where people surf where you wouldn't think. And Galveston, they all
In the
ride
bathtub, or
the waves created by the oil tankers.
oh, that makes sense.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, then you can take a dip afterwards and be covered in oil. They worked out.
Sean Howard's on my side, so take
No,
your
I
stick.
know it. I know the hurricane killed thousands, but I just doubt that Galveston was the biggest city in America ever.
Okay, we're gonna do facts against you.
Okay.
Well, hold on. I have a record to show. Screw this.
No,
This
I'm looking up the
conversation.
facts.
Hey,
Show your
listen,
silly
you-
record.
My silly record.
Was it some classical shit?
Reminds me of like Monty Python.
Yeah.
No, it's not classical, but it's hard to follow Joe after showing all that cool avant-garde stuff.
I don't know how the shitty shows anyway, so.
All right. Well, maybe I should wait for Joe to come back. Joe, come back.
I can hear you. Go ahead, Mike. I'm just putting the records away.
All right.
So I can see you.
Okay. So this came up for a really good price. This is an original first pressing. John Coltrane with the Red Garland Trio on Prestige. This is a NYC label. It has the song Training In, so later reissues have a different cover with a different title. This is the OG. Chad did reissue this as part of the Analog Productions Prestige Mono series. So I have that copy, and I was thinking of doing a shootout between the two. Does anybody really need any more shootouts?
Yes. Dude, it'll get like 3,000 views. Just put Felipe's face on it and you do the video and it'll get like 5,000 views.
So anyway, this came up. It's honestly, the reason why I was thinking of not doing it is because like side 1 is VG and side 2 is VG minus, I would say. So if I were going to list it, I would list it as VG minus. So it isn't the greatest copy, but it's enjoyable. There's no like hard clicks or anything like that, but there's it plays with noise. So and there are definitely some marks on it, but it's for me, like this was a really cool record to get. I like to get these NYC labels rather than like the Bergenfield. So when these come up for really fair price, I jumped at it. So I am really happy to get it, but I haven't done a comparison yet. I've only listened to this copy recently, so I'm not sure which one does sound better. And yeah, it might be fun. What I was thinking of doing was talking about basically that the tape itself is kind of the control. So that was recorded using Rudy's setup, and I wanted to kind of go through like his equipment. Then basically the only difference between the two is that one source was from 1958 and the new source for Kevin Gray was in 2008, right? So it's 50-year difference in the tape. And then go through what Rudy used to cut and then what Kevin used to cut and then talk about the differences. But the problem is I had a hard time figuring out what Kevin had in 2008. I think that's whenever the Analog Productions version was cut.
Mm-hmm.
So I might send Kevin an email and see if he could help me kind of.
He had a tech reel-to-reel tape.
Yeah. So I need to. So anyway, so that's the other reason why I was thinking maybe not doing it, but I don't know.
It'll be great.
I have to find motivation to do it, but it's a great record. I mean, John Coltrane with Red Garland. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
great. I like
really-
the other one. I like All Morning Long better though.
You can get the
I listened to that too.
I have the Chad one that he reissued, right?
Yeah, I listened to that recently, Chris, and that is a good one. There,
I'm surprised those are all still in stock. Anybody that doesn't have the prestiges that they want should buy them.
the other reason why I say this is VG minus is that so it's Coltrane with Red Garland Trio, and the trio plays for a lot of this without Coltrane. Like like Coltrane comes in 3 minutes into the song, and then
Okay.
so there's a lot of like soft silent spots. So if there's
Oh.
any like marking or anything, it causes noise, but it's a low level noise, but it's there for sure. So that's why I was saying like maybe this comparison is going to be shit because I can't really compare how dead quiet an original is because this one is scuffed up. So
Well, it's
So I
gonna be
don't know.
noisier. It's probably gonna be noisier even if it's mint than the.
can we do a poll? Can we do a poll if I should do this or not? Given the condition limitations of this,
Wait,
should
is
I
it
do
mon-
it?
You kind of ruined the whole idea. for me
mono
now.
or
Don't go
stereo?
for it.
Is it mono
What's
or
that?
stereo?
Did I
mono.
ruin the idea?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's mono.
kinda.
Now, why did I ruin the idea?
Just because of your
Enthusiasm.
your lack of your I don't know your weird
How do I do a-
qualifiers.
How do I do a poll here?
This isn't our stream.
Yeah, but oh yeah, I can't do it.
Well,
Oh, well.
Do you want to do a poll?
Yes.
No.
Should I do a shootout with the Red Garland Trio with John Coltrane?
I'm sure someone will hack it.
Yay or nay?
just do it.
Hold on. I've
Yeah,
never
so
done a
Fluffy wants you to do it. Do it for the young man.
At least
Hold
it's not another Steely Dan shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what I haven't listened to them side by side, but I suspect what is it like this original is going to be like a tighter mono box. It's going to have Coltrane out in
What do
front
you want?
more.
What do you want your poll
And
to
then
say?
Kevin's is going to be better balanced instrumentation. It's going to feel like a slightly wider soundstage, and there's going to be more definition around each instrument. But overall, I think they're going to sound somewhat similar. And ultimately, I'm going to say, if you don't have the original, get the AP. Like I guarantee that's what it's going to be.
Wait.
That's why I said like these shootouts have been done like ad nauseum. I
We haven't done one. Though.
suspect that's what it would be. Am I totally destroying this?
Yes.
I mean,
You're-
yes, kind of like every idea anyone has in our
Oh, why
private
can't I
chat,
hear you guys?
you ruin it.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
I'm doing it right now.
Mhm. Well, I'll do it.
Just do it.
Thank
Just
you,
do
Mike.
it. That's all-
But isn't
nothing.
tell me that wouldn't be like what you would expect?
Okay.
I don't know. Who
I
knows?
typed it at. Hold on. I typed it out. Should Jazz Bum Mike do a shootout of the John Coltrane with the Red Garland Trio?
Yes or no?
And yeah, and it's your right to vote or not vote. Remember that, folks.
All right. Poll has started. Someone
Sounds like
will
something
hack it.
Trump would say.
All right.
I can't see the poll.
I don't want to get into it.
The poll is up. All
So
right.
you
So
Poll's
far.
up.
Oh wow. Here we go. It's
I'm
going
gonna vote.
crazy.
I'm gonna vote in my own poll.
Vote yes, damn it.
You guys could shut it down, and I totally respect that.
Stop.
I'm voting
You're
no.
backtracking.
I'm voting no.
Why you're batching yourself? Are you sick of
You voted with
yourself?
our account, you bastard. That's not your right.
Okay.
Vote
Only
yes,
20
everyone.
Look, there's 98 of you and only 34
34.
people. Let it run for a while, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need some massive dumps.
You know what? You know what, Chris? You know what the real poll is? Do you
What?
find Jazz Bum Mike annoying or not? That really is what it is.
Yes.
That's a good point.
That would be
Rob.
yes. That would be yes.
It's really, do you want to hear me talk anymore?
Hmm. Damn it, Sean.
Yeah, can you take back a vote?
No.
I don't know how you, Fluffy, I don't know what, the rigging could go either way, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. I can't take it away if they find you annoying or not. That's stuck in my head.
It's true.
Okay, no is winning. No is winning.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
So
We'll let it run
this-
for a while.
The shootout's not happening.
I didn't care anyway. You ruined it with all your
Actually, I might change the polls. Should Jazz Bum Mike do a shootout with Chris, like with guns?
Oh, I'd win. That would be easy. Yeah, I would win.
Hold on, Roger has something to say. Probably better not to do a shootout because you might mess it up and everyone will hate you. It's too
Well,
late.
you know, I thought about that. Because I basically, because I would what I would do is I'd start it out and I would just say, look, my system, like my setup is listed in the description. This is just a data point. That's the other thing is like,
You don't have to qualify everything so fucking much. Just like say, hey, here's the records. These are
yeah, but I want that. I feel like that's fun to do. Like it's fun to know those things.
Well, but here's something.
But if somebody does a shootout, like I'm curious to know what they're listening on.
I
That's
don't
not
peg.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you want to downplay your system, even though it's great, or downplay your experience or whatever. I think you should just do it.
I don't peg notes
Yeah.
and tones as a guy who has a lot of troll accounts, but I think he's using them not right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I'll do is if I do it,
look at this, called out by Patty, bro. How about your preconceived notions versus the actual review?
it's not a call out. That's just a recommendation.
Can I kind of praise Jazz Bum
That's a
Mike
good
right
idea.
now?
That's a good idea, actually. I like that
Jazz
idea.
Bum Mike. There's some other channels who do shootouts all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they probably won't be half as good as your shootout.
Oh, well, thanks, Rob.
That's
You're
true.
welcome. Well, that speaks
Well, one
less.
probably does shootouts, but it just doesn't exist. I mean,
I thought you were giving me a compliment.
I did. It was a backhanded one.
no, all
Now-
your videos where you like hyper focus on something are fucking great. So I think you should do it.
Well, maybe I will. It seems like nobody wants me to do in this poll.
And you're gonna let these morons tell you what you can do on your own channel, Mike?
Yes,
You're gonna
yes.
accept that?
Okay,
Mob rule.
okay,
No.
Mike. Here's what we'll say. There's a error, either way.
Right.
It's basically 50-50.
Come on, people, vote yes. I'll give you $1.
You know what
Hey,
I thought was odd was when Joe picked up the 3 trumpets on Prestige. It was like, where did this come? Like, where did this old 50s hard pop record come from, Joe?
That's pretty cool.
He
Pretty
did
sweet,
start. He did start out in.
No, I
regular-
know. I'm teasing. I'm
Yeah.
teasing. That's a great record, man.
Yeah.
What's
by
the
the way,
condition
I
of
will,
that?
but also for me, I picked up a lot of that stuff within the first like 2.5, 3 years of collecting jazz, and that was, I made on my channel. One of my early videos was like being able to identify the different Blue Note records because I didn't even know about like Fred's book, or I didn't really know much about like the London Jazz Collectors. It was just based on information that I had gathered. And then I did one for Prestige as well. But it's, at the end of the day, I think, Mike, you and I are very similar, that we like the kind of intricacies of the pressings and figuring out like when things came out and where was the pressing plant and stuff like things like that. And for some of those records, it's very easy. Blue Note, it's always really going to be Van Gelder and Plastolite and things like that. But for many of those labels, that wasn't the case. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, and I mentioned a while ago the fact that I, for a long time, wasn't burned, but felt like discouraged from trying to pursue certain labels or certain records because I'd find something, I'd be really excited about it, and then I get home and then you see online that the record is a piece of shit and it's four men with beards, or it's the kind of shady mid 2000s Park Avenue Blue Note stuff and things like that. And some of that stuff sounded great. And my mindset for a long time was like, well, let me listen to it. Let me see what it's like. And I felt good about some of those records. Like I picked up Cliff Craft, and it was like a 2000s pressing. But
that's right. I remember you telling that story.
And I thought, honestly, for a long time, I had an original. I looked at the labels and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what it was. I paid $20 for it. And then, it ended up being, and it sounded pretty good, but for a long time, I had a copy of the record. Most people didn't, because there was not many pressings of that. So
Yeah.
Okay, I want to end the poll on a good note.
Okay, what's the result?
Yes, 51%. So I'm ending the poll now.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Poll is ended.
51? Oh my
51%.
God.
Yes.
Yes. That means you have to now. Now you're priced in.
Yes, I ended
Oh.
it. You're locked into a
It is a divide. This is a
contract with
divided.
Satan.
This is a divided vinyl community.
Well, no shit. It's like the worst community ever.
Hey, okay, Ray, here's
It's
my
not.
suggestion. Since you're going to do the vote now, here's what I would like. I would like you here to do it like this, where you're big like this, and Fluffy is small over here, and Fluffy's just shaking his head.
I
Like
think
cheering.
I'm gonna think about what I want to touch on, but I did like Patty Vinyl's idea of saying like basically articulating what I think the outcome will be, then doing the shootout, listening to it, and seeing how that matches. Maybe I'll do it. I gotta think it through a
No,
little
you
bit.
should totally pre-record the first part and then do the comparison. And then if you were right, afterwards just say, I was right, and then that's the end of the video.
Now,
All my
Chris,
preconceived notions were correct. So there you go. That'd be fucking awesome.
Chris, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
let's say Mike does the shootout, does a good job, communicates all this good information.
Yeah.
But then gets a comment that you usually get that you have a shitty system and you have no right to do a shootout. How should
Mike
he
doesn't have a
respond?
shitty system. He's got a really nice system now. And also,
It's
anybody
okay.
that says shit like that can suck my ball sack. I don't even care about this fucking idiot. Like, who cares? If you're,
All right,
you're
so
just
we have
that
a-
much
we
of
have
a
a que-
negative asshole, then screw you. You know.
Here's a question. It's directed towards me, but let's talk about this with everybody. So, when you guys listen to big band, do you prefer Bassy or Ellington? Is it swing versus elegance? Let's talk. I don't know.
Well, here I usually yield to what sounds good, but obviously, to me, Ellington, I know more of his songs, and they're more like classic standard songs.
Mhm.
But those, I mean, I keep saying the Pablos of Bassy, they sound really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
most of them are big band though, even right.
look,
A lot
I
of
mean,
the bass are big band on Pablo.
right, and I've been collecting jazz very short period of time, but I always knew Bassy and Ellington, and Bassy to me was always the kind of guy at the end of his songs who went boop boop boop.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of cute, right?
Well, I
So
listened
isn't
to
Ellington more elegant than Bassy, right?
but I feel like there's different. I don't know Ellington that well, but I feel like there's different eras of Ellington, and I generally listen to like his stuff that he collaborated with on Impulse. So like him with Coleman Hawkins, him with John Coltrane, or on Verve with Johnny Hodges. Those are generally smaller groups with different style.
Right.
There's the one with Charles Mingus and Max Roach. Like that's generally the Ellington I listen to the most. I have explored it a little bit, but like his 30s big band stuff, and I'm sure there's obviously like the Newport big band with Gonzalez,
Well,
but I don't listen to that stuff as much as this
the
smaller
Capitol,
group
isn't there
stuff.
the Capitol one where he's a trio? Then he did a later one with a trio, I think on Reprise.
Okay, yeah. He also
But-
has some stuff on Bethlehem too. That's pretty good.
I mean, I would say that I listen to Ellington probably more than Bassy, but I love all the Ellington stuff he did on Columbia in the 50s. I've probably got 7, 8 of his records on Columbia. I mean, like, what is it called? Blues in Orbit's one of my favorite jazz records, period. But I love Bassy too. Like Bassy, there's a bunch of records he did with the Kansas City 7, like a sextet or a septet or whatever the hell it is.
MC, whatever. That one's really
The Atomic record. I had the copy of that, but it was fucked up, so I sold it for cheap.
I have a classic records version of that. It's good.
But Bassy's like there's an Impulse with him with that group of 7 that's really good, and then I've got everybody makes fun of it with that Bassy twofer that's got like his face on a train on the front. That one's really badass. That's all old like 30 stuff.
Mike picked up the record. If you can get a copy of that Pablo, You and Me, that thing's amazing.
Mhm.
That thing is one of the best sounding records I think I have.
Mhm.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how good that is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, I think Bassy swings the hardest. I mean, from what I've heard, he just is like his swing is
Kansas
just so,
City, man. I mean, it's
so
just,
it's just the hardest I've ever heard
Did
anybody.
Bassy and Ellington ever do something together?
I don't know, probably.
I don't
I don't
know.
Does anyone know that? I
I
don't
don't
You
know.
know what's really great that I've and you can find this on YouTube. Oscar Peterson did a series of interviews with folks. He did one with Bassy where they both had like these big Bosendorfer, grand pianos like facing each other, and they would talk and they would play and stuff. And it's
Oh yeah,
a couple hours. That is fucking awesome, man. Because they talk about like Art Tatum and Duke and all those folks. So
Bassy
As
has
a
a
little-
So as
And
a
this-
little
yeah.
as a little kid growing up on PBS, I think Oscar Peterson always had specials
Mhm.
where those are where he interviewed. I knew who Oscar Peterson was as a little kid from that.
Bassy and Sinatra. I feel like I know like they brought in Quincy Jones to help with the arrangements. I never really understood exactly. I mean, I guess I just feel like Bassy also did arranging, and when I hear it, it just sounds like Bassy's arrangements, honestly. So I don't know. I know that Quincy Jones and Sinatra dated back to the 50s. They were working together. So I don't know what I mean, maybe he I don't know what the deal is, but Bassy with Sinatra is pretty good. I think it's probably one of like the top arrangers that he's worked with. I would say most important and is probably Riddle, just because of the success of those albums.
What
And
about
then
here's
well,
the album they did 61.
oh, okay.
Count Meets the Duke. 4.5 stars. Okay, are we gonna sell this record out tonight?
What is it?
That's
It's,
a lot of good players in that.
So look at the lineup. Is it a combination of their guys? I know isn't Freddie Green is a Bassy guy, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Frank West. It's a
Johnny
combination.
Hardin?
Okay, I think I need to find this. Don't buy it, people.
Look at these.
Mike, did you come up to yell at me?
No.
Okay, good.
So there's tons of like Bassy stuff on Roulette. Like this is really cool. This is a live concert in Sweden, and then this is just like a dance record of his from the 60s, 50s or 60s, probably 60s. Two different kinds of labels. These are kind of beat up. They're like VG. I'm probably gonna sell these in the auction on Saturday. But I mean,
What do you guys think about
Bassy?
Bassy played organ a lot as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
I haven't really explored too much of his organ stuff.
Wait, isn't there isn't there an organ? He plays organ, and then maybe Oscar Peterson plays piano on Pablo. I swear I have a record like that. Let's see if I can find it.
Is this what Bassy Ellington would make a great UH? Well, it won't because it's owned by Sony, so we couldn't even if you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Bassy's a pretty big gap in my collection. That's something I will explore at some point, though. I have some of his Pablo stuff and probably a couple other records, but I haven't really went into it.
I have his big records, like Paris.
That Roulette one, isn't that like one of his best-selling ones? That Atomic Mr. Bassy you were talking about?
Yeah.
Like, who's on that? I want to know. Let me see who's on that.
This one's really good and super cheap too.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Montrose 77 series.
So Frank West is a Bassy guy. That's interesting.
I'm not even paying attention to the record I'm showing, Mike. How dare you? See, look.
Cool.
Still not looking. Damn it.
Eddie Shaw Davis is on Atomic Mr. Bassy. Was Eddie Davis a Bassy guy?
Well, he was in that record.
Well, yeah.
Back in the day. I would say
Henry
so.
Coker, Joe Newman, Thad Jones. See, that's why I need to get into Bassy. I just need to know all those guys I love.
Well, that's what they call the New Testament Bassy. There was
Oh,
Old
okay.
Testament and New Testament. Old Testament is the Bassy guys coming out of Kansas City with Lester Young, Herschel Evans, guys like that. That's and Jimmy Rushing on doing vocals. That's Old Testament Bassy. That
Oh man,
Mr.
you have
Bassy
oh, sorry.
is New Testament Bassy, which is arranged by Neil Hefti and the band with Joe Williams, doing the blues vocals. That's all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
There's
Have you seen that Jimmy Rushing Columbia record? I mean, they pressed a million copies of it.
I have it on CD. I love Jimmy Rushing.
Oh my god, me too. That record is so great. He's so great.
Yeah, Mr. 5x5, because
Exactly.
he's 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide.
Exactly.
Let me see if I can. I just want to look up the first Bassy band. Is it the Old Testament? Is that like a common way to frame it? If I Google it,
People used to refer, when I first started listening, that's what people used to refer to it.
okay, yeah. So it is primarily during the 30s and 40s. So yeah, you got Buck Clayton, Lester Young, Herschel Evans, Freddie Green guitar, Joe Jones on drums. So Joe Jones is a bit. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Just because if you're the drummer for Bassy, like that's yeah. Walter Page, bassist.
That was like the granddaddy of everything, man.
I know, but it's just like okay. And who's in New Testament? Bassy. Let's see. So that's like the 50s period. That's Joe Williams, like you said, Mike. Thad Jones, Frank West, Frank Foster, Eddie Lockjaw Davis, Snooky Young, Marshall Royal.
Who went on to play on the Tonight Show, man.
It's interesting because like I like know these names. Like Snooky Young, I've definitely seen on like I don't know, like those like big Pacific Jazz albums with Gerald Wilson. I'm not saying that that's exactly right, but it's like that's like a name you see. Like maybe he probably played on.
Yeah, you're probably right because he went on to play in the Tonight Show band.
Okay.
That was, I guess how he really supported himself.
Yeah.
Just buy these too. Oh, Mike went away. I don't know. So until he comes back.
Hey, real quick when we're done, I wanted to point out that record that just got announced today.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
But okay, let me share the screen.
Let Mike share the screen. He's better at it.
Okay, Mike, pull up the Doug Karn record that got announced today.
Okay, I think Music Direct has it, and there's a good.
Wait, I want to actually In-Groove has a color variant exclusive.
Okay, let's start there.
Yeah, but it's being put out by Real Gone. Real Gone's doing it. Several different variants of it, but Mike has an exclusive.
Okay, here I have it here. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so it's up for pre-order. Doug Karn Trio, In-Groove exclusive on Creamsicle. Is this? What is the color here?
It's Creamsicle vinyl.
Okay, so there's only going to be 300 copies of this variant. I streamed this. Very good record.
Okay, so here's my favorite thing about Real Gone. That pressing plant, Got a Groove, they do an excellent job.
Yeah.
The pressings are really good. But I never Real Gone doesn't have analog recordings, really? And they're announcing this as analog.
Yeah,
that didn't mean that they don't master it, they just press it.
No, but the hype sticker on this is it's analog.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but they
so
don't
it's
really,
all analog.
does anyone know that Real Gone's ever done?
Well, no, Rob. What I'm saying is they don't master it, so it doesn't. They don't have to have analog like Shit.
Okay, listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
That's the words I'm coming out of my mouth. I'm telling you.
Just like Chad puts out an analog record, or Kevin, there's or Tone Pode's analog.
Sure.
Never seen a Real Gun record announce that it's an analog pressing.
All right.
Okay, sure.
Well, this one is. This is
one
all
is.
analog.
It's interesting to me. That's
Okay.
all.
So you got Doug Karn on organ, and like when I first heard about this, I looked. I was like, organ, okay, I don't know if I'll be into it, but I streamed it. It's really good.
Does his wife sing on that one? Because I just kind of listen.
No. It's just a trio.
And
here's
you
a
could have it. You could have it inspected and
Now, hold on.
ultrasonically.
Let's go back to the nerdy shit Mike's good at.
Yeah.
So this was originally a Savoy record. It came out on Savoy. But Mike, when did Savoy kind of stop issuing records or new records?
Let's take a look.
Was it the late 60s or was it into the 70s?
So, I mean, I don't know.
They came out in 69 on Savoy. The original pressing is worth a lot of money if you find it. Seems to be
I'm
a
sure
hard.
it is. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll pull up the original.
Sorry, I'm kind of distracted right now. The first reissue, I don't know. Anyway, let me pull up the original.
Jeffrey's saying the early 70s.
Wait a minute. So they changed the cover, and that's probably
maybe they couldn't probably get the issue to the cover. His daughter drew that picture.
Okay.
For this issue, for this.
Mike's.
Did she draw it with a photocopier?
Listen, can you pull out your stick and swing it around?
I mean, maybe.
Right, I gotta go.
Good exit. Good exit there, Mike.
Yeah.
Good time.
All right, hold on.
Good sign.
So let's see. There's only two. There's one. There's the OG, and then
Which only
this is
28 people say they have.
the CD. 28 people have it.
Yeah.
There's none for.
It goes for some dough.
But
When's the
much
last
more
ti-
soul
when's the
jazz
last
than
time
free
it sold?
jazz.
When's the last time it sold? Oh,
Yeah.
April
Who issued? Who put that in as free jazz?
2024.
So $200, $250.
So it's sold one copy this year, one copy last year, a couple copies in 2022. And
Does
then we
this
had
qualify, Rob, as a record that goes for some dough?
And he doesn't have his crazy wife singing on there, so it's good.
Yeah, that's true. Don't say his wife was crazy, man. That's not right.
So who's gonna get the creamsicle?
I don't know,
Hey,
bro.
someone lift that sound bite from his
We will have
does that mean it's cream inside? It's like white, yellow inside. You just
Hey,
That's what she said.
hey, Chris, if I get you that sound bite, can you put it on the picture of Duke Pearson?
You can do that and upload it to the StreamYard yourself.
I'm joking. I was making it. It's better than your stick joke.
Inappropriate.
Rob Stream.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's the title. Definitely go check it out. Go stream it, and I think it's pretty awesome. I'm definitely going to get a copy. I'll probably just get the black pressing because
I'll wait till it goes on sale somewhere for $20.
I generally like just to
Go
get the
support the
regular.
Ingroove. Okay, the Ingroove said he's going to post the black vinyl version of it too. So,
Well, it's also on Chad's side already.
yeah. Hey, I want to do a little cleanup.
Ooh,
Okay.
after the stream siblings in it.
Hey, Jack. Until you get your shit straight, I took your wrench away. You seem to be on some sort of weird path. You need to shape up or ship out.
Also announced today.
Hold on, let me finish yelling at Jack. Until you decide on a name and make real videos, stop stealing content, and do real stuff, then you'll get your wrench back. But I'm tired of your shit. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
And get off my lawn.
All right. Now so it was, I believe it was announced today, the Sunny Step Blows the Blues is now available. It's in stock.
Great record.
And I know that Chad reissued this once before, but I guess as part of this series, he's bringing it back.
It was a Classic Records issue. That's the one I have. They did it in every conceivable version. They did the one-sided version of it. They did everything.
So is anybody getting this?
Absolutely, of course.
You should.
Yeah.
If you're
I'll
a
get
human
one when there's a 35%, 30 or 35% off sale. I'll buy it.
I ordered it.
I want all those. I want all those top 4. I don't have those yet. So
Yeah,
No, it came out as the 4-disc one-sided 45.
I streamed it twice today. The entire album. It's really good. Who plays piano on this? The piano player is awesome. He kind of reminds me of like Sonny Clark. Let me see.
Shed's site is the worst site to find information about a record.
It's a great
says right
cover
there,
anyway.
Lou Levy.
too.
It says it on there.
It does. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
If
Sorry.
there's a sale, I might get it.
Oh,
Just
Lou Levy.
cover of
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stitt sounds. He sounds great on it. So this should be cool. Did anybody get this Johnny Hodges?
It's really good. I have the CD like they did years ago I guess in the 2000s. They did a double CD, and they issued that under Ben Webster.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really good. Both of them. They're it's a really good album.
Yeah. The first time I streamed it, I wasn't too into it because I was like, oh, it's like sounds like big arrangements. But I streamed it again today, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Now,
So
here's a question for everyone.
uh-huh.
Of all Ellington's sax players, there were 3, right? Paul. Well, his main guys: Paul Gonsalves, Johnny Hodges. Who was the third one? There wasn't a third one.
Ben Webster.
Who's the best?
You had Harry Carney on baritone as well. So, well, Johnny Hodges plays alto, Ben Webster's tenor, Carney is baritone, and Paul Gonsalves is tenor as well.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, how could you? They're all great.
I have this record.
You know,
This is very. I like this record. It's good.
And the thing about Ellington, when he decided to feature, he would write songs to feature, those guys.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I don't want to say different from the Bassy band, but he would write a song, and this is when Johnny Hodges, this solo is going to be for Johnny Hodges. This is going to be for Paul.
That's what they say. One of his strong suits as a arranger is that he wrote for his talent. Like he used what he knew they were good at, and then incorporated that directly into his compositions.
Yeah.
As opposed to just writing compositions and having them kind of adapt. Apparently,
Right.
That's what Mike just said. Literally.
Well,
does anyone have his the soundtrack that
I'm
he
just
did?
agreeing with
The Anatomy of a Murder. Did anyone?
I have
does
that
anyone-
one.
Yeah, I have that too.
What- What's your take on that? Does that sound good?
That needs a
it's-
real reissue. That needs a good reissue.
That's like when I go to Ellington, I don't usually reach for those albums. At least I haven't. It's interesting. It's bigger group, but you have to think there's application for film there. So it's written in that type of framework. So it's not my favorite. I don't think it's bad or anything. I just don't listen to it that much.
No, it's not my favorite Ellington, but I prefer
have a
other
copy
stuff. Period.
I have a copy of my auction of Duke Ellington does the Mary Poppins.
You listen to that one all the time, Rob?
It's not a bad record. I mean,
Well, I'm not kidding. That Christmas album he did, Nutcracker Suite, is really good.
Yeah.
They do a good job. I mean, it's a Christmas album, so I mean, take it for what it's worth. But it's a good one.
They announced the Impex record, right? That's the 45.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What is that one? It's Mood Indigos
Yeah.
Indigos.
or
Just plain
Indigos. Indigos.
Indigo Joe.
I don't
That's
have
great,
that.
but I think I have like 3 copies of that already.
You know, and that's the thing with me. When Impex announced it, and everybody, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is great." I was like, it's very good Ellington, but it's not great. It's not something that it's not an Ellington that makes me want to buy an audiophile copy.
In fact, if you want a good cheap one, you can get there's 80s pressings of it. That I have a stereo 80s and an old mono of it, but that 80s one is cheap and it sounds good.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean, it's fine. I don't want to pay $60 for it. But you know what I have thought about buying is the Blues in Orbit that Chad did, but it don't have an OG.
Yes.
We just went over that. Mike,
The creamsicle limited to 300 copies.
We talked. Well, hey, if anyone ever gone to the beach and those airplanes that fly with the pennants behind it,
Yes.
this is sort of what
okay,
that is.
Mike, you got this big announcement. I go to your website. It's not even on the front page here. What the hell's going on?
I noticed that too. That's
Like, I
true.
can't
Well,
even
and
find
the
find it.
Instagram link doesn't work for me. I couldn't get it to work.
Go down. It's there on the front page.
Oh,
Go down on the front page.
yeah.
If anybody's interested in checking it out,
Wait. Can you? I have a question for Mike. Can you scoot down to that hype sticker?
where is it?
Keep going down. Keep going down. Hold on.
Oh my
It's on the
god!
very top.
There it is, right
Buried.
there. Pre-orders. But click on that. Can you click on that and then go to the hype sticker? Scroll down.
I think the hype sticker's only on its Instagram.
No, it
Hold
was
on.
right there when you went to it before.
Where? Hold on. It wasn't there.
So on
Let's
the
see
hype
here.
sticker, I have a picture of it. So I'll show it off my phone.
I have it right here.
Okay.
Boom.
Can you go to the hype? Here's my question. What is a groove coated stamper?
Yes, that is a good question.
I need
Is that a
that
polished
question
part?
answered.
Is that polished parts? Is that what that is?
Hold on.
Sounds made up.
This link is only for Mike if he wants to come up. Okay, no one else. But
Now, Mike, how did you determine creamsicle? Is it because the in-groove logo is orange?
Yeah.
I actually no one knows this, but in the fall, Mike has a TV show coming out, sort of like Kojak. Instead of lollipops, he has creamsicle.
Now, would Doug Karn approve a creamsicle colored pressing?
Yes.
His daughter did.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
but I still want to know what a groove coated stamper is.
I don't know, 'cause I don't know what that means.
I think that's polished parts. I'm going to guess it's polished parts. Like, I think Palace in Germany uses that.
Can you ask your dog, Mike, what a
I think we
coated
trying to
I
stamper
think we
give us an
lost.
Ask your groove-coated dog, Mike.
Sorry, let me
Hey,
just. Yes,
OJC,
he says,
can you leave the heavy lifting to me, please?
That's getting old. You need a new line, Rob.
No, it works every time.
Jeffrey has a great point. Creamsicles are a good way to beat the heat in Phoenix. Absolutely.
No, they instantly melt in your hand. What was the
Creamsicle.
Yeah,
Good
just
stuff.
like vinyl in Phoenix.
now? How much money do you make when people leave the store and their records burst into flames?
Yeah,
They have to
exactly.
come back in. Get
I
more.
feel like Mike came in with a drive-by comment and he's gone.
Yeah.
I think he did. He used and abused me.
That is unfortunate.
Okay, well, OJC's came up because he wanted to show some records. So you better do a good job.
Oh, the pressure.
He always
I think-
does.
well, I want to talk about summer reading lists first, though. I think Mike, did you post this Notes and Tones? Did you post this online? Maybe
No.
someone else posted that on the Discord. It's too bad Paul left early.
Yeah, someone
Because-
did because I said we were talking about it, and I had said I hadn't read it, but I had heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah,
it's
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were saying that thanks, Rob. That the
I didn't
press
do
here,
it.
the
It was Chris did it, so I'm not
I
taking
didn't do
credit.
Nobody did it. It's a phantom.
no one did it. I did it. But when I was down in Detroit, Paul was showing me the list of graduates from Wayne State University.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of see the list of folks from Detroit here. Anyway, so
That's cool.
and George, yeah. So that's just a few. So that's a pretty. They're not cheap books. That's a problem. Anyway, so I'm getting my summer
Well, they
holiday.
have to pay those football players with some money.
All right. What else do I got here? I just got a couple cheap. J.J. Johnson. I know trombone isn't the favorite of everyone. What does this mean? Non-breakable. Why is it non-breakable?
Well, let's try to find out.
I think it's just. I think the idea was they use that as marketing because it's not shellac, and shellac was brittle, so it was just a way to kind of talk about that it's vinyl.
Anyway,
there's my guess.
In person, but again, great. So I think I'm going to say that's a 59 or 60. Great lineup. Sorry about that, everyone. Johnson. Oh, the focus is just not pulling there.
Here.
Oh, is that Mike?
Okay, so first of all, pull up the website again.
Hold on.
All right, hold on.
The main page that Mike said it's not on.
Okay, hold on. No, we found it. We just had to scroll for 10 minutes.
No, you didn't. What's the very first sentence on the website?
Right at the top.
Nobody's looking at that, Mike. You gotta you gotta do visual.
Oh, hold on. Can you put a bigger thing under it? Get your microscope out so you can read this.
It should be flashing orange or creamsicle.
Actually, I might be able to make it scroll. That's a good advice. I'll make it scroll.
All right.
Okay. Did you ever think of adding like a banner at the top that changes frequently?
Well, technically there's that. If I make it scroll, that'll be noticeable.
Yeah. Well, can you put it down? Can you put a pre-order here, or is this only for what's in print?
I mean, I'd have to do a little tweaking. I could make it like a standalone product. But
honestly, Mike, you're going to sell out 300 easy anyway. Yeah, so I don't even think
that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm going to mention it in the video tonight. It's not like I got thousands of them to sell.
Yeah.
So two things. The creamsicle color, it's not supposed to be called creamsicle, but that's what they put on the hype sticker. They said, "What color do you want?" I said, "I want the in-groove colors. It's an in-groove exclusive. Let's do the in-groove colors." And they said, "Okay, that's $5 extra for the in-groove colors." I'm like, "For orange and tan?" They're like, "Well, pick these pre-selected colors." I'm like, "Okay, I will take the creamsicle, which is orange and tan." And they're like, "Okay, well, that's not $5 extra." So it's technically the in-groove color.
What would it have been $5 extra to print on the hype sticker in-groove color?
I just went with creamsicle. I like creamsicles. Everyone likes creamsicles,
You know what's going to happen now when you walk down the street? They're going to go, "Hey, Mr. Creamsicle."
Creamsicles are great. Actually, I could use a creamsicle. I haven't had one in a while. Groove Guard. I actually did ask them the question on the Groove Guard because I was curious. What the hell is this Groove Guard? So because I was concerned about it at first, they sent me this long technical explanation. I'll try to type it in the chat. I don't think I can because it's long, but let me see. It's not polished parts. I might be able to stick it in the private chat. Okay. No.
Is it something that they historically have been doing, or is it
new?
No,
this is brand new. Let me pull the description out. I put it in the private chat, but it cut it off. So essentially, it is a special lubricant coating applied after the nickel to reduce surface tension while increasing surface hardness. Essentially, what it does in their testing is it reduces high frequency loss and allows it allows the pressing cycles to be a little bit higher. They did a bunch of testing in 2018, and they said they were pulling copies, and they did a bunch of analysis on the 2400 copy and the 45th copy, and they said they were almost indistinguishable. Okay. So it's, who the hell knows? I'm not saying that that's some great deal, but they're pitching it as a great deal. I guess
I mean,
it's
I don't know. I don't know how long. I thought they were related to each other, Real Gone and the Got a Groove. But
Mhm.
I have to say, from buying all those black jazz records, they're good pressings. They're a good pressing plan. I don't know. I know they did some private, like that Abdul record, Wahad bass record.
Yeah.
They did. They
Wahoo.
put that out.
Yeah.
They did some
Wahoo
other.
Abdul,
Yeah, those are
Abdul
good.
Wahud.
Yeah. But
Well,
the one thing I didn't notice is that I've never noticed that they've hyped a record as analog before.
well,
This
that's the thing. So what's unique about that is they're trying to go that route, but they really don't quite know what they're doing yet because they chose, and I've got the mastering details somewhere. It's somebody that I never even heard of their name, but
Okay.
I
Do
reiterate,
you know where their
I'm
facility
like,
is?
this is analog, cut from tape, no digital preview head. And they were pretty emphatic. No, this is all analog. But let me see if I have the details on who the hell mastered it. But it was, you could tell they want to do something similar to a Tone Poet or in that vein, or maybe more of like a contemporary type of product. They just really don't know what they're doing per se.
When are you expecting the first shipment in, or the shipment?
I think it's listed
general.
on, I think it's September.
And are they doing a regular jacket or are they doing a premium jacket?
I think it's going to be a more standard jacket.
Okay.
Funny story about it is this was actually supposed to come out months and months ago. They looked, I think, for somewhere close to a year to try to actually find the original artwork, to original pressing of this record, to scan the artwork, and they couldn't find it.
I think I know someone who has it.
Wow.
He could have been fucking with me though. I'm not totally sure. I have to double check.
If you look on Discogs, I think like 13,
yeah, it was like 20 people, something crazy.
Nobody has this record. I don't have a copy of it. But what is kind of cool about it is Doug Carn's daughter is the one who did the artwork on the front.
That's
Jazz
nice.
Punk Chris had low opinions of it. So
yeah, of the record.
The drawing, it's a nice drawing. It looks nice.
I mean,
photocopied.
It's it's a doodle that she did with a pen. It's cool because it is his daughter, but it's short of a scanned photograph. There's not much. And actually, after it went into print, one popped up on eBay because I emailed them on it and asked them, is it too late? And they're like, no, it's already gone to print.
And also, I just want everybody to know, just because Jazz Bums are getting promo copies and we will be reviewing it, that doesn't. We're going to be totally neutral.
Totally.
What are we getting promo copies of?
No, but here's they have I mean, he's the guy who started Black Jazz, right? Doug Carn, or was it Gene Russell?
No. Yeah,
Gene Russell.
Gene Russell, but he did it with Carn, didn't it? I think it was kind of like a.
So is that how they had the relationship to issue this record? Because
I'm not sure. I think they're just going after stuff they can get the rights to, is what it sounds like to me.
Right,
did you cover who cut the record already? Or do we know?
He says the guy you never heard of.
This is actually a Universal title, so this is owned by Universal.
Yeah, because it's Savoy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Let me see who they gave me for the mastering engineer. I gotta go dig deep in that.
Who's got the pretty chimes?
That's my back door's open.
No.
Hey, can someone
take that? Can someone
it's better than Notes and Tones as car, police sirens constantly.
Oh boy.
Henry Franklin, yes. Hey, while we're looking at that, you want to see some Bassy records I forgot to show earlier?
Please.
Okay. They're all Pablo's like we were talking about, but so the one I was thinking of was
there you
go. This one.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bassy plays organ on this, and also plays piano, of course.
There's two albums of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who's on here. Ray Brown on bass, Freddie Green on guitar, Louis Belson on drums. Like that's pretty crazy lineup. And then these, I've got all of these. I think I don't know how many I have. I've got 3 or 4, but like the Bassy drum stuff, great.
Well Made Music did the mastering, but they didn't specify an engineer.
Nice, but it's analog, right?
That's as analog as I can say it is without actually being there while they cut it. So
Yeah. This is another one that's really good, Bassy Jam 3. So, look, Mike, log jaws on this.
Yeah.
Joe Parks area, Benny
Yeah,
Carter.
yeah.
I mean, So, yeah, that's it. The
Cool.
Bassy stuff on Pablo is really awesome.
yeah, Concord does own Savoy. I get confused because Concord is actually distributed by Universal, so I always smush them together because
who you were contacted by Concord to do this,
no,
right?
via Real Gone. Real Gone's license.
Real Gone, okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's a licensed product, but they're doing. But I would think this is separate from Black Jazz because I don't think Concord or Universal owns Black Jazz.
Right.
I don't know. That was such a great series.
That would be an interesting thing. Or for the Black Jazz is digital. Were they not able to find any tapes, or this decision to try and go in an analog route is after the fact?
I feel like this is something new for them. The Black Jazz stuff that probably started 5-6 years ago. Those acts, I feel like we were getting those before Tone Poets really even took off.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of an awakening by the labels and seeing that, hey, analog cuts sell a lot better. Can we do it analog? So I think this is just kind of them scratching the surface with it, though. I don't know how successful they'll be.
Yeah, they're independent. They're their own company.
Now, Mike, they can also add $5 to the record, basically, if it's analog cut, and press at a decent plant versus, a random mystery pressing.
Yeah, it's a $33 record, so it's kind of on the top end of what Real Gone would charge.
Actually, my buddy who owns Omnivore, they compete with Real Gone, and I would assume they see what Jackpot's doing with those albums. They compete with them too. So if they could differentiate themselves from Jackpot, which their products are very similar, I think, right? And
hopefully they'll
be in the vein of what Jackpot offered. I kind of feel like that's what it's going to end up like.
Do you know if
go ahead, Mike? Sorry.
Well, I was just going to ask around like the use of Savoy titles. Like there's an Archie Shepp, Bill Dixon record that I think comes out at the same time as this. Savoy does have some pretty interesting, expensive, harder to get records later on that might be in Real Gone's wheelhouse. It seems like their taste, is a little bit more of the later, later titles. So do you have any insight into like if they're going to start exploring Savoy a little bit more after this?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't, but unfortunately I'm going through a middleman, not the decision maker.
Okay.
I've got essentially an account rep that handled all this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I got to go shoot my new Arrivals video, but I will show you guys one record. I got this. I don't know if Rob showed that to you.
No, I didn't. I would, but
I picked this up at a record store here in town for $300.
Nice,
good deal.
Because that's not $1,000 record, but it's up there, right?
It's not $1,000.
In this shape, it's probably still $600-700. They rated it as VG, but this is definitely a VG plus record. I mean, it's really clean.
Nice.
The cover is all doodled on, and it's got seam splits.
There's a question for you, Mike, because you found that record, and then most of us have that reissue that came out. It'd be interesting to see if you could do a shootout with records like that. That would be an interesting thing.
The problem is like 9.5 people would watch, and I think 4 of them are on the screen already.
Come on, Mike.
Come on, man. Tons of people would watch. Tons of people would watch.
A shootout?
Quality, Mike. Quality content.
Well, here's the thing.
Today I'm going to do a shootout of Pharaoh Sanders. Pharaoh.
But hold on, Mr. Salesman.
Do you have those boxes in stock? You could probably move a few of them.
Yeah, you would sell those.
I do.
Yeah. Have those sold well, Mike? The boxes, I mean?
They did okay because that record's so unobtainable. Yeah. They did okay, and to be honest, it's a lot less crazy than a lot of the stuff he was doing at that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the live record, the live record in that box is excellent too.
Yeah, but he didn't even want that released. Am I correct about that?
No, I don't think
gotta
that's the case. I can't remember who
It says-
owned
It
Indian
says it's
Navigation,
licensed from Pharaoh Senders on
but
the
I think
back.
the guy who
No,
owned
not the
Indian
reissue, the
Navigation.
original.
Oh,
I think the story is that the guy who owned or produced Indian Navigation was expecting that Pharaoh Sanders was going to produce a different style of record, and when he heard what he came up with, he was disappointed, I think is how the story goes.
Okay, so the owner of the label didn't want to release the record.
I don't know if he didn't want to release it, but I think he thought he was going to get something different.
Well, I don't think, and I think it says it in the booklet in there, in the box. But they both weren't too thrilled with each other during the recording session.
That makes sense.
That's not from
There goes
me,
Mike.
Roberto. That's probably from Chris.
Oh.
I know you're.
Where's Mike?
Oh, that's
Why
a
did he-
horrible poll idea.
Yes.
Oh, not Mike.
Mike had to go shoot his video. He did
Oh,
an
yeah.
Irish goodbye.
No, all right. I'm going to get out of here too.
Yeah, we'll
You
go
can
another
create
5
it again.
minutes. We'll go
Yeah.
5 minutes to do 2 hours.
All right, everybody, look, go check out we just dropped the Plum
yes.
box
Hang on.
review. So check that out. We had a really fun time talking about that. And then
Can
I'll
you talk
consider
about the video a little bit more, like what we did for the video, so you can tease it a little bit?
So we just quickly go over what's in the box.
Don't tell too much.
Okay, yeah, I won't say it, but it's really fun. We do we go in depth detail. We kind of talk about it, and it's really fun. So, and I will consider doing a shootout of this. You know, I do need to get.
You're contractually obligated now with the.
I do need to get a little bit more
51%
information.
winner.
it's very
To make it fun.
anti-democratic there, Mike. Very anti-democratic.
That's it. It
I
was
heard a
rigged.
rumor- I heard a rumor in the Plum video. Chris licks the box to see if it tastes like a plum.
It
Tune
tasted
in
like
to
a
find
peach.
out.
Yeah,
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Exactly. The poll did speak, Jeffrey.
He escaped his thrashing by.
I mean, yes, I voted yes with both of my kids' accounts, but you know, it's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, now, did you finish showing the records you found? Or are you done?
Who, Chris or me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, well, I'll go quick. We don't have much time left, do we, Rob? Hang on.
No, you
No,
got to
you
go
can't,
fast.
I'll go fast. This one, I don't know. This one is it's hard to show. Apparently, I found this one really hard to find.
It's not hard to find. It's just only available in Japan, so it's expensive to get to the here.
Well, that's not exactly the case, Rob. This is a German version.
I find it's like $50, but then you add another 30 or 25 to ship it.
Yeah, I think I got a better deal than that. This is continuing my deep dive into Max Roach.
I have that. That's a good record.
This is I just love the
Hey,
covers
well,
on.
here's
That's
what
it.
you
That's
gotta
it.
do. You got to hold it back further from you so we can see the whole.
That's thanks for the tip. I love the English cover. Huh? They're so or label rather.
Well,
They're kinda
they
cool.
also use that label for those late '60s reissues. Sometimes those were.
Well, they had the brown one that looked like that, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Do you have that one, Rob?
No, I do not.
Sweet.
This is actually really awesome. I got a good deal on that one in
Well,
Japan.
When did that come out?
That is a good question. It's let's have a look.
Because there was a point where he switched to smooth jazz.
No. I don't go there. That's this is 75.
Ah,
I think those songs may have come out in other versions though, right?
I
know that. Yeah, it is awesome. It's really good. It sounds terrific. This is a Japanese version. OG.
Is that direct to disc or no?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Because it's East West. I don't.
Couldn't tell you. Anyway, it's if you see it, grab it. It's fabulous. And I think it's not one of his more expensive ones either. That's about it. I picked up this. I wasn't so sold on this.
That's an excellent album. I have that version.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've got an earlier version, but in terms of the recording in this series, I thought this one was not as punchy as some of the other ones. I don't know, but maybe I got a crappier version.
He's kind of a chill dude. At least the stuff I have one record.
Yeah, I don't know. I might take it back. I felt like some of the piano was a little muffled, or there could be something wrong with my vinyl. That's it. I've got some other ones, but
It is
Thank
really
you.
recording
Thank you.
piano.
we'll
All right,
keep it there.
Roberto is pimping out WCB, and he says he's here to say yes, he did the video. Hey,
you should let it
Roberto, like a normal person, why don't you just post a link? You got a wrench.
Yeah, you got a wrench, man.
Help
Come
a
on.
brother out.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's a great history. Yeah, I didn't know that history. Yeah.
So Rob, tomorrow, what are we doing? Me and you, we're doing this live stream tomorrow.
So tomorrow
again?
night, Chris is doing the auction with me on Saturday at 1
Yeah.
Pacific. So Chris and I will do a preview video tomorrow night, probably around the same time or whenever. For about a 20-minute video, we'll show highlights of what we're auctioning off. I always put together like 150 records, so yeah, we'll just do that tomorrow. I have a lot of good stuff, so wouldn't normally about 25 non-jazz, but mostly all jazz stuff. So
Yes, I'll have
I have
all
a
jazz.
copy of the Lee Morgan's last double album, which is my favorite. So come, it'll be fun. All right, Roberto, post a link to the video.
Go watch our
So-
video and then go watch WCB's video. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're charging for your services tonight?
That's your invoice, Rob. It's in the mail.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks for everyone joining. I appreciate it. Remember to come. I'll post a link for our preview tomorrow and then the Jazz Bums on Friday. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Later.
Take it easy. Have a good evening.
Bye.